Hey, how you doing there again, folks? You get a course? Brandon Wenzel, come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler video series videos I do for the one I go over there try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff that, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I went into a gas station looking for something else, and these were right at the front. But we'll get into that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I am inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. And that's definitely the case. Yeah, I went out searching, trying to find some monster flavors. Ooh, monster flavors. Specifically for some soon-to-be discontinued flavors. So I have an entire, 19-minute long episode where I review those. So go look up those reviews, or that review if you're interested. And in the course of it, I ended up at this one gas station, and literally as soon as I walked in the door, they had this little stand right there, and it had a bunch of, international and Japanese treats. And I was like, neat, I like international stuff. So what am I reviewing for you? Well, folks, it happens to come from the great country of Nippon. It's Boom! What are these? These are Lay's potato chips. These are specifically Lay's potato chips, Tokyo Yakitori flavored. Yes, okay. And I had to look up what Yakitori is. I'm a little bit of a weeb, but, not to the extent that, modern weebs are weebs, So, and yeah, they're these, basically. And effectively, they're, cool little chicken kebab skewer things. I don't know that I've ever had these. And I had a lot of, Japanese food and stuff. I probably had something similar, but, sure, man. And I've also reviewed plenty of, Japanese and other international flavored chips and stuff, so if you happen to be interested, there's a whole bunch on the channel. Let's get a thing for the thing. We'll try to get a thing for a thing. We'll just ha 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 ha. And let's find out what these are. Open. Open, open, open. Oh, wow, that's so weak. And you gotta consider, too, you're paying, an import on these. This is the saddest thing. And, folks, I have brought this up with almost every bag of chip that I've ever reviewed on the channel. This is a bag of chips, right? Look at it. It's about the size of my head. It's pretty close. I got a big head. That's how many chips you get. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. That is pathetic. At the very least, I can say it's not just an American thing. We're all getting screwed over on a global scale. That is so sad. These better be the best fucking chips in the world. Let's give it a go. In the immortal words of Barney Gumble, you got lucky. Those are actually really tasty and extremely unique tasting. They have sort of a glazed kind of taste to them. There's a little bit of a sweet, kind of sweet and savory sort of deal going on. In fact, I would honestly argue a little bit more sweet than savory. Almost kind of like a teriyaki, but much more... It's not a subtle flavor, but it's more subdued than a teriyaki hit would. Teriyaki's got some real oomph to it. These have lots of flavor, but the flavor isn't as rich, but it is probably as sweet. So it's kind of like if, you got teriyaki, which tends to be sweet, but it's, sweet and savory. If you're taking that, this is kind of similar to that, except sweeter and less savory. That's what I'm going to go with it. See, but now that one wasn't as flavorful. Still had the same general flavor and everything, but not as oomphy. So that one didn't get the same level of coating. That one did. Yeah, it almost has like the sweetness is almost like kind of like a similar sweetness to like a honey, but then it has like these other, again, sort of savory aspects to it. That is really interesting. I wish I got more chips. It'd be nice to enjoy the flavor for longer. Because that's actually really cool. One thing I do always appreciate with like these international, well, I shouldn't say always, when I can, is with these international flavors, just the level of flavor that they're able to impart into them. You think about over here in America, sometimes we struggle with the basic fucking flavors. Over in Asia and India and all these other places, man, they're just putting all kinds of wacky spins on stuff. I will say this. I wish that it had more uniform flavor over all of them. And to be fair, like any chip is going to suffer from that to some extent. But like that first one was probably the most flavorful one I had. And I felt like it kind of set an unreasonable expectation for the rest of them. Because, yeah, subsequently it's been hit or miss. Some of them have been more lightly flavored, but I mean, honestly, that's really nice. Like, I actually enjoy that flavor combination a lot. I like sweet and savory stuff. I love teriyaki. In fact, now my brain is like, Brandon wants teriyaki. And it's like, it's not time for teriyaki, brain. It's still early in the morning. That's not what I think. I want teriyaki now. It's like, where am I going to get teriyaki at this time of day? I don't care. Just make it. It's a whole thing. My brain is interesting. But anyway, yeah, no, I like those. Those are good. Two questions have to be asked, though. Would I get them again? Would I recommend them? Yes, with caveats. Yes, with caveats. First and foremost, would I get these again? I mean, for one thing, they're an import flavor, so it's like, when am I going to run into them again? I mean, granted, I could go back to that gas station. They did have a few other bags. If they were, like, just readily available, sure, absolutely. But with them being an import product, you're probably going to be paying a little bit of an upcharge, and I don't know that I would want to pay that all the time for these. But here's the other thing, though, and it's the thing that's really keeping me from from going right back there and just grabbing those extra bags. How little you get in the damn thing. I mean, maybe this is just an off bag, but I don't think it is. And by the way, to the people who go over there and make the claim and say, oh, the chip companies, they have to do that, it's for transport. No, it's not. You know how I know? The chip companies fucking admitted it. They didn't say so in so many words, but one of the major chip distributors did go over there. They got called out for the fact that they've been, decreasing the amount of chips in their bag, and inflation is going up and up. And they fucking finally were like, yeah, no, we'll put more chips in the bag and we'll keep the price the same. Yeah, so if you believe that, sorry, but yeah, you were getting gouged. We're all getting gouged. But no, like, I really like the flavor on those. But it's just, dude, I'm not going to pay, I don't know what I paid for it off the top of my head, but I'm sure I paid too much for that many chips. But I do like the flavor. If they wanted to make that like one of like the international flavors that they actually bring over to America, I'd be super down with that because I really like the sweet and savory aspects of it. I've never quite had that flavor combination, certainly not on a chip. And now I really want to try the actual dish too. Like maybe that's what I'll do this weekend. Maybe I'll head out to the Japanese marketplace. And the thing is, if I'm recommending it, caveats, man, because again, it's the thing of like, do I recommend trying these? Yes, I think they're really interesting flavor. It's not going to be for everybody, but I do think they're at least worth trying. But again, you get that many chips. It's really hard for me to recommend that to somebody when, like, realistically, you're going to go through this entire bag in, like, I don't know, 40 seconds? Yeah. So, flavor-wise, yes. Value-wise, no. If you get what I'm saying. But if you do run into them, they are at least worth a try because, again, I do think if nothing else, the flavor is interesting enough that it warrants it. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of months, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly Yakitori-tastic rest of your life. Trust me, if I get some Yakitori, I will do a review of it. So we'll look for that in a future episode, I guess. Don't. We'll see if I get to it. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, have you ever had Yakitori? If you have, let me know. Would you say that the way I described what I encountered was somewhat similar to your experience? Or was I completely talking out my butt? Because that's entirely possible, too. Excuse me. But yeah, I'd be really interested to hear about it because, like I said, I probably had stuff that's similar. I know I've had stuff on skewers from Japanese places, so maybe I have had it. But like I said, I'm gonna actually try to make that happen. We'll see though. Anyway, bye.